Are we spending our time fruitfully accessing this cornucopia of information, insight and wisdom? Often we are not, because we are so busy working in our businesses that we have little time and energy left over to work on our businesses. We're all creatures of habit and routine. We've found a way through all the complexity of modern life by trying to minimize the scope of what we do. The problem with this approach, though, is we go into stasis. Konnichiwa, and welcome to the Leadership Japan series. I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, President of Dale Carnegie Training Japan. Much more importantly, though, you are a student of leadership, highly motivated to be the best in your business field. Today's show is brought to you by our public and in-house seminar series. We run 2 public seminars each month. Some are half days, most are full days, and they're popular topics like negotiations, public speaking, step up to leadership, time management. If you are seeking these types of skill solutions, you can host them in-house or just send people along to our public events. If you have a performance or people challenge in Japan, then maybe we can help you. Contact me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Receive our free report, Goal Setting Blueprint 2.0. Also access our free white papers, guidebooks, training videos, blogs, newsletters, course information, a truckload of stuff. It's all over there at japan.dalecarnegie.com. I do 3 weekly podcasts, and if you have an interest in presentations, then search for the Presentation Japan series on iTunes. And if you're interested in sales, then look for the Sales Japan series also on iTunes. Before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is, think about it. Go kento kudasai. We're putting together an offer to the client. We want them to consider it. We might say, please consider it. Think about it. Go kento kudasai. Go kento kudasai. Please consider our offer. Go kento kudasai. Please think about it. Go kento kudasai. Go kento kudasai. This is episode number 191. And today we are talking about boss stimulation is needed. Our education moves through many transitions. We do our basic academic education, school and university, and then we hit the university of life. Company education programs begin with very basic induction sessions. We may be studying technical subjects for regulatory requirements or the firm's specified areas for further study. We might get some rudimentary soft skill education, although the majority of companies rely on OJT, on the job training, particularly in Japan. During the middle management years, we might get some leadership training, or in the case of large firms, be dispatched to some worthy academic institution for a week of executive training. The instructors are academics. The case study method is a favourite, as is group work. Often, the course colleagues are from around the globe. The whole thing is fascinating and very cool. The nature of the approach means we are usually focused on the middle to distant future, very macro and broad in nature. It is hard to grab hold of something from one of these courses and start executing it on the first day back on the job. These experiences happen infrequently in one's career because of the cost in terms of both money and time. They are delivered in big doses and then separated by years, or possibly it was a one-shot and you're done game. What about ongoing education? The frequency is a key factor. Those who drive and spend some considerable time in cars have access to a mobile university courtesy of MP3 recordings, podcasts or apps. The same for those doing the daily commute on trains and buses. There is a wealth of knowledge available today. It is astounding. Most of it is free. How good is that? These days, you can also go on YouTube and learn just about anything. TED Talks are great for specific topics, and there is now a self-paced study mega industry based around information products. These are for a fee and are usually provided by practitioners rather than academics. The academic world itself is also putting out their offerings online for free. So we stand before a tsunami of knowledge heading our way. However, are we spending our time fruitfully accessing this cornucopia of information, insight, and wisdom? Often we are not, because we are so busy working in our businesses that we have little time and energy left to work on our businesses. We're all creatures of habit and routine. We've found a way through all the complexity of modern life by trying to minimize the scope of what we do. The problem with this approach, though, is that we go into stasis. Business keeps unfolding and evolving, and we have to keep up. In this age, new developments can make you a buggy whip maker before you know it, and you can be out of business. Anyone in Japan remember iMode? World leader in its day, and now gone. BlackBerry. MySpace. By the way, did you see the press conference with the head of Nokia bemoaning, "We didn't do anything wrong"? That is one perspective that highlights the power of challenger technologies and systems. The viewpoint of each successive generation is different. Those who grew up with the telephone differ from those who had the fax, and differ from those who wield a mouse. Now we are walking around with massive computing and interconnectivity in our palms through our digital devices. This means whatever you learnt even 5 years ago on that executive course is probably redundant or soon will be. If that was the final investment in you by the company, what have you been doing to educate yourself? As the boss, you need to keep studying, keep pushing, and keep up. Are you doing it though? Look at your timetable. How much is allocated to study in a week? Reading the newspaper doesn't count, by the way. I'm talking about more specific efforts in your business area of speciality. If the boss isn't growing, then how can the business grow? Get on it. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series, and we hope you enjoyed today's show, brought to you by the Seminar Series. As mentioned, if you have a performance or people challenge in Japan, then maybe we can help you. Contact me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Also remember to access your Dale Carnegie training free reports, white papers, guidebooks, training videos, blogs, newsletters, course information. Man, there's a lot of gear over there. It's over at japan.dalecarnegie.com. Check out my other podcast, the Presentations Japan series and the Sales Japan series on iTunes. Next week, we are going to be talking about accountability in your team